The Numbers Game with Gill Alexander on VSIN, the Sports Betting Network.
Back on a Numbers Game right here at VSIN, the Sports Betting Network, just like Brent said. It's Gill Alexander, Jeff Parlay here as well. And Las Vegas Cris, everybody, kind enough to join us in studio. Always a treat when Cris comes strolling on in. Multiple handicapping contest winner, football handicapping contest winners, winner here in Las Vegas through the years. At the Palms, college football last man standing at Stations. Just messed around and got a second and fifth place over at Circa. You know, that kind of thing. Ho-hum. How you doing, man?
You know, I'm not a one-trick pony.
I know you're not.
My last 600 NFL sides, I'm 58%. My last 300, I'm 59%. So I'm actually prouder that I do better betting than the contest notoriety.
Your last 300 plays, pre-flop, you are 59%.
Yeah, on sides, NFL sides.
On NFL sides. Now, there's going to be a segment of the listenership, right, that is newish to betting, who's going to hear that and be like, 59%? That doesn't sound so good. 59% is ridiculous over that big of a sample size. Good for you, man. I know you're not a one-trick pony. You do movie reviews, too. What'd you like better, Top Gun or Elvis?
I liked Elvis better. It's a very unique movie, and they did a brilliant job of not making it like a storyline throughout, so to speak. So they took the pressure off him acting like Elvis more than they needed to. But he did an excellent, excellent job, and I really like that movie. Both of those movies are good, though.
You like Top Gun?
Top Gun was good.
Jason Kahn really liked Top Gun, I'm told. Jason Kahn, big fan of Top Gun. Okay, so Elvis gets the nod on that. All right, so we have your Twitter feed. For those who don't follow Las Vegas Cris, Las Vegas Cris, CRIS, on Twitter. And you are, again, your great handicapping prowess, both in contest and without. But you also share thoughts about sports betting and other things on your Twitter feed. And we've just sort of taken a random sample of stuff, and we can just kind of riff on this and get your thoughts. A look into the mind of Las Vegas Cris.
Uh-oh.
All right, let's fire one up here, Jeff. What do you got here? This is, again, from his Twitter. Bad decisions in betting that result in wins only reinforce more bad decisions to come. Impulsive bets, bad lines, chasing, doubling down, risky bets, poor bet sizing, peer pressure, boredom, desperation, substance-influenced, etc. What a great tweet. And you know why it's great? Is because all of us have been guilty of one or more of these at some time or another.
Yeah, well, absolutely. That's why I sent it out. I probably at the time realized that I had done something I wasn't proud of, and I was thinking to myself, for the average person, you know, if you get away with this stuff, you know, just going all in on the last game of the weekend, or chasing, or you're drinking and you kid yourself that I'm a better gambler when I'm drinking. Whatever con job you want to do in your own psyche, you use all those things as an excuse. Well, I won, I'm doing well. When I really concentrate, I can't do anything. So
the confirmation bias of that is hard to penetrate. Yeah.
So it's just really, it's painfully important to try to do as few of those bad habits as possible.
Can you flash that up again, Jeff? Because I'll tell you, of all these, here's the one that I am most guilty of. Let me look at the list again, and just out of transparency and honesty, like, which of these would I be the most guilty of? I would say impulsive bets, to be honest with you. There are still times that I struggle with, as deliberate as I am with most of my betting. There are still moments. Now, some of it was primetime action influence because we're in the moment, we're making bets. As Matt Brown would say, content bet coming up, right? We were just doing it for the show, just to make the show more entertaining. But even in real life, there are moments where maybe I forgot about the start time to something, and I'm more crunched than I would have liked to have been, and I will pull the trigger on something that I know, if I'm really being rational about, I shouldn't be pulling the trigger on it. That's definitely one of mine.
Sure. And unfortunately, we find a way to give profits back at a faster rate by doing that, because whenever we get up a little bit, that's when those things really start to kick in.
What do you think is the one that is worse for you of those?
I think that all of them I've been guilty of at one point or another, but the boredom and the peer pressure. That doesn't happen anymore.
Substance influence never happened to me.
I might have a few. Yeah, if I have a few cocktails, who knows? But
Jeff Parlay?
No, it's the chase. The chase. If you have a bad day, being disciplined and avoiding that. Especially when I moved out here, that was one that I was really bad with. I
think for newer bettors, that's the big one.
Yeah, that is a big one.
Yeah.
This is very difficult. Like if you don't compound your losses by forcing action on chasing, and then boredom. I mean, sometimes we get bored. We're human.
Boredom is the least talked about cause of any kind of addiction as well. Whether it be drug, gambling, whatever. Like boredom is a massive factor sometimes.
That's the number one
Yeah.
cause of
Boredom.
most abuses.
Yeah. And
Because-
they never mention it.
I don't know about that. I guess it's just
never
not
hear it.
At the forefront. But, it kind of touches base a little bit when NFL and I was thinking last night, NCAA week 1. I may not make a bet until like week 3. I'm not going to be one of these guys in NFL and NCAA that has to place a bet unless I'm finding real value. I just don't feel that compulsion.
Let's do another one of from the mind of Cris. How are we pronouncing your last name these days, Cris? Zanuck. He never changed it. I just forgot how he pronounces it. Las Vegas Cris is the Twitter feed. This is just another a random thought that came up in Chris's day. Myth. Oh, I love myths. Myth number 1, he said, sportsbooks, and here's the myth, that sportsbooks employ touts to give bad picks and info. Cris goes on to say, think about that logically. If bad, why would you continue to consume the content? I worked with a book, and I knew damn well they wanted me to win. The books know you'll blow the money won anyway on other dumb bets. That's the key. That last line, let me repeat it. The books know you'll blow the money won that you won anyway on other dumb bets. That, by the way, is also the reason why I give some of the bookmakers that are either kind enough to join me in studio or not, where I'm like, can't you give us this? Because you're going to win anyway on the other stuff, right?
Yeah.
When we're talking about drafts and that kind of stuff.
Well, this is just so frustrating because I see this online all the time where they're calling people that are working for the sports books shills, and they're purposely losing. And I worked for the same company your previous guest, Mark, did last year. And I can damn well assure you they weren't happy if I wasn't doing well. Mm-hmm. And they shouldn't be. They really had high standards, and I believe that all the places pretty much have high standards. They want you to win and continue to consume their content. They know you're going to screw up and do the dumb parlays and piss it away on a bunch of other nonsense. So it doesn't matter if they're giving you 58% winners, at a low volume rate from some handicapper.
Yeah, that's a very gambling Twitter thing to say. Like, they want you to lose. They're leading you wrong. No, that's not what it is. It's not what it is.
Not at all.
By the way, this gives us entree because you just mentioned that you used to do stuff. You still do put out videos, though. People should know. How do they get to that?
Oh, yeah. I'm really having a lot of fun with this. I didn't have a subscriber a year ago. I'm almost up to 500 subscribers.
There you go.
Pumping out content with my friend Ron A. Sports, and Ted Sobel, who's been with Sports USA for 20 plus years doing the NHL and NFL. So we're putting out free content, not selling anything, just doing stuff that makes us be a better handicapper. My slogan is it's better to keep up with the NFL than catch up on the NFL. So a lot of good content on there.
Speaking of which, I just saw you said you did an NFC East video as one of yours lately, I believe.
Yeah.
What were some of your conclusions moving into this season?
Well, the division plays, they all play weak schedules. So by default, they're going to attract wins. And the difference between last year, I was here a year ago, I told you Washington was going to be tough times.
Yeah.
Well, we're looking at the inverse. Last year, they were facing the toughest schedule. Now they're facing the easiest schedule. And they're filling some holes in. I think the whole division as a whole is going to be a little bit improved. I mean, a lot of people are really high on the Giants, but I'm not sure they can stay healthy.
A lot of people super high on the Eagles.
Yeah, but you know what? That's too good to be true. They're gonna face some problems some way, somehow. I don't think Hurts is.
Would you bet a long shot to win that division? You don't do many season-long bets, do you?
No, I only did the Ravens plus 220 or 240 or something like that.
To win the AFC North.
Yeah, because that was easy. They're facing a last place schedule. Cincinnati's facing a first place schedule. The Browns are the Browns.
I've heard about them in the news recently. Yes.
Yeah. So but people can't write off the Browns. They're a solid team.
Yeah.
If they can just get a quarterback that does not do stupid things, they could win that division. They could have a great year.
Is Jacoby Brissett that guy?
I don't know about that. We'll have to see. I mean, these quarterbacks that have been in the league for a while find a way sometimes to just kind of pull things together. They kind of resign themselves to what their place is, and everything better than that is, a bonus.
The great Las Vegas Cris, just riffing. More of his tweets will get into his mind. On the other side, Numbers Game VSIN, the Sports Betting Network.
The Numbers Game with Gill Alexander on VSIN, the Sports Betting Network.
BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks, unleashes the spirit of Las Vegas with BetMGM rewards. Every time you make a wager at BetMGM, you can earn BetMGM rewards points that you can redeem for online bonus credits like free bets and risk-free tokens. Planning a trip to Vegas, perhaps? Well, you can also convert your BetMGM points into MGM rewards points that you can use towards dining, shows, and hotel rooms at over 20 MGM Resorts properties located on the Las Vegas Strip and nationwide. BetMGM Rewards, sports betting's premier loyalty program featuring exclusive offers, incredible experiences, and valuable perks when you wager on the BetMGM app. Sign up with BetMGM or log on today to get an even bigger piece of the action with BetMGM Rewards. Eligibility restrictions apply, that is. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 years of age or older to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Gill Alexander with Las Vegas Cris, kind enough to hang with us in studio at the lovely South Point Hotel Casino, tip of the strip. How many contests you going to be in this year, sir?
I don't know. I don't think I'll do Survivor. I'll do the Millions. I probably do the Gold. I'm not sure I'll do the regular Westgate. Maybe I will.
You'll do the Gold, 5,000 entry. You'll do Circa Survivor, but not Survivor, huh? I mean, Circa Millions, but not Survivor.
You know what? I don't like the way I have to, my brain is required to kind of think differently. I found it interfered more than I enjoyed it, if that makes any sense.
For you, I totally get it. For a mere mortal, I don't. But for you, I completely understand that.
I don't like the fact that you can do every single thing perfectly, and in week 14, a 17-point underdog wins outright, and you're out.
Too soon.
That's why I like
That's too soon.
I like the last man standings where all 32 teams are in play every single week. I don't like that there's only a handful of teams available in Survivor that you're supposed to play. You should have all 32 teams in play, have it as a point spread, and then there is no such thing as a bad beat. A horrible bad beat,
Boy. Jared Goff on the Rams hosting the Jets, 17-point favorites 2 years ago. I'll never forget it.
Hey, he's a Lion now.
Yes, he is. You got mad at me. Oh, we should bring this up. You got legitimately peeved at me on Primetime Action because I dared say something about the Lions, and you felt I was mocking them. And your comeback to me was, if you don't think they're making the playoffs, you must not watch football.
I was exaggerating.
Okay.
I'm not guaranteeing a playoff, but they're going to be a much better team.
All right, we have three more thoughts from Cris to get to. Here's one more from his Twitter feed at Las Vegas Cris. Why do many bitch about losses and bad beats? If you're any good, you'll actually have more bad beats. They should be expected regularly. Nothing worth noting. A loss is a loss. The very best lose, 45% of the time. Why waste people's timeline space with expected variance? I love this. I have always made this case. People say bad beats even out. And I always say, I go, not if you're good, they don't.
No, if you're any good, you're gonna have more bad beats. Mm-hmm. And it just infuriates me with my timeline being littered with chirping and complaining. But I will tell you this. I do kind of like it in NFL during the games because I don't watch the games, but one of my Twitter accounts is programmed with all the people that piss and moan. So I can follow how the games are going just by following Twitter. and for whatever reason, I like to do that.
You cull the piss and moan people on one thing? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I have all the pissing and moaning people on one feed, and it helps me keep track of what's going on in the games if I don't want to watch them.
I love that tweet. Okay, here's some other topics that you've talked about. ROI versus profit, return on investment versus profit. Reading the market in general. You said you're still surprised so many sharp people that you run into can't read a market or take it seriously. Well, if they're not taking it seriously, especially in the NFL, that's definitely a huge problem. But reading it is to me not a rampant skill. You have it in spades.
I think I went the first 65 games last season without a better line becoming available in NFL. I take the market reading very seriously, but I take it very seriously in all sports. I'm shocked because I'm working with young handicappers in sports that I don't do. You can't do it all. So there's no shame in working with other people.
Yeah.
And it works out very well because you're a little bit of a mentor and they're getting a little bit of financial reward and experience. So I'm shocked that very talented people don't understand how important the market really is and how you can notice certain situations and teams are red flagged. And I tweeted out last week, if a sports book does not move a line when I bet it, I'm on the wrong side.
You're convinced of it.
Well, it's really hard. I have not gotten off of a bet yet, but I've noticed with baseball, the only time that the line does not move when I bet it, it's a loser. So I have to take it seriously.
And the ROI versus profit thing. That's a big pet peeve. Yeah.
A lot of people are sitting there throwing ROI out there as their profit. And they're up 60% ROI. And that's just horse crap because
I never say ROI on this show. Never.
A good ROI that you can be proud of is between 5 and 12, 13%.
Right.
You can hold your head up high at those levels, very high. And it's just frustrating because there's a lot of people that don't understand the differences. And it's very important. Now, both profit's important and ROI is important. And by themselves, there needs to be more context. So ROI by itself doesn't tell the whole story, and profit by itself does not tell the whole story.
All right, and here's the boy. I'm glad we saved this one for last because this would go on for hours. New cappers out there that haven't met adversity, yet think they have the tiger by the tail. Oh, I love that one. How many times have you seen this, Cris?
Well, when we change what we're doing, sometimes we actually get that euphoria that we kind of have things mastered for a while ourselves.
Sure.
I mean,
it's always changing.
It doesn't matter if you're new or old, but the younger generation, they have so much enthusiasm and they work so hard, and they're benefiting from their hard work, and they're very talented. A lot of them are very, very talented, but you don't know what somebody is about until they face adversity.
That's right.
And it's painfully important for people to go through a bad stretch. I knew I was going to have a bad NFL season last year. I told other people, I said, it's not going to be a good year. You had a good year, you're not going to have a good year. And sure enough, kind of mediocre, just, small profit. I feel very strongly next year is going to be a monster year. And I think the people that did well last year are going to face some difficulties this year.
Yeah, the corollary to that is also the people who jump on when you happen to have a bad run. Oh, you suck at this. Yeah, okay, well, that's also not something to necessarily zero in on because it's not really the big picture. But how many people, littered with people over time who burst onto the scene, had a great run, then as soon as things went south, running for the hills.
Yeah, and
it's tough.
Yeah, it is tough. And then I feel for these people. Because there's been a lot of great people that have been in my DMs that were really euphoric, or they're kicking butt, and then they face some adversity and they either disappear or, they just can't regain it. It was a short-term variance type of situation.
It requires you to apply yourself in the same way that anything else would.
I think another mistake that people make too is, there's a lot of people out there buying picks. Well, why are you going to buy somebody that is hotter than a pistol? What you want to do is you want to find somebody that's a long-term proven winner.
That's right.
And you want to catch them on a down streak. And that's when you want to pop in.
Your favorite TV shows. We have 90 seconds. Your favorite TV shows to recommend.
You know what? I'm watching The Offer. I don't know what network it's on.
Ryan Ortega recommended that last week.
Awesome. It's about it has a little bit of winning time to it because there's exaggerations and stuff, but it's really good. It's about the making of The Godfather and the Evans character. I just love that
He did
guy.
a whole imitation of him and everything.
And I remember seeing that guy eating dinner with Suzanne Plachette at Dan Tana's one time.
Wow.
And
that's a 70s throwback reference right there with Suzanne Plachette.
I know.
Dan Tana's.
But that's just an awesome, awesome show. What else is good?
All right, that's both you and Ortega. He loved, for the same reasons you did, he loved The Offer.
Peaky Blinders, I love that. Everybody should see that. Yellowstone was good. Lincoln Lawyer was actually good for, Oh, you know what? Here's an interesting gambling movie.
Yes.
It's called Tulsides Jr. It's an Indian movie.
What is the first word?
Tulsides.
That's a name?
Yeah, it's a name.
Spell that.
Toolsidas. I'll tweet it out.
Okay.
I love this movie. It's
Tulsidas Sighting?
Tulsidas Jr.
No, Tulsidas Jr.
Right.
Is the name of it.
And it's about snooker.
Oh. Thank you, Chris. We got to run. We could go on, but we got to go on. Lombardi Line is next. Enjoy from VSIN, the Sports Betting Network.